Hey guys, Ali Lee here and welcome to my first video. Yay! So today I'm going to talk about my plane ride to Japan and my review on Japan Airlines. So, let's do it. First, let me just tell you a little bit about the details of my trip. I had bought my tickets from Student Universe, which is basically like Kayak or Expedia.com, but it offers discounts for students. So I can assure you that it is a legit site, even though I did have a lot of difficulties with them, but I'm not going to talk about that here. So I purchased a non-stop round way ticket from JFK to Narita, Japan, the airport, for around $1,600, I think. The flight was supposed to take anywhere from like around 13 or 14 hours, but for both times going and coming back, we arrived an hour earlier than expected. So overall, I enjoyed my flight with JAL. They really did exceed my really low expectations for a long plane ride. The seating was well spaced and comfortable. I had regular seating going and business seating coming back, and there wasn't too much of a difference between the two, basically just a little bit of more space for the business seating, and the chairs were black and looked a little bit cooler, but that was basically it. I actually walked past what looked like first class, and it was weird. It kind of looked like basically they had their own cubicles for themselves, like kind of really big boxes for their chairs, and I'm going to assume that the chairs were able to recline all the way out so that they could kind of make like a bed, and of course they had their own monitor and stuff, but it kind of looked a little claustrophobic to me, and I'm not entirely sure if I would really want first class unless it's perfect for, if the seats do recline back, then you want that if you're gonna sleep, because it's, no matter how comfortable your seat is, it's really hard to fall asleep sitting upright. Anyway, the flight attendants were all very nice and very polite, and they all spoke either Japanese or English, and I know this because they would always try to speak to me in Japanese first, and I would just be like... The flight attendants also looked nice. They dressed well and looked very professional looking. And not to be racist, but they all did look the same, besides the fact that they were all Japanese. But you could obviously tell that JAL wanted their flight attendants to look the same because they all had the same hairstyle, they all had the same makeup, and all perfect uniforms were all, ironed and everything. So the plane itself was way more high-tech than I was expecting, especially the bathrooms. Like, you walk into the bathroom and it's just so, like, everything is so neat and tidy, and they have so many convenience things in there. It's not just a toilet and a sink, and soap, like real soap and not Purell, and like, I can't even remember, just like lights, things you could push, and just nice stuff. Like, you walked in and you were like, this is a Japanese bathroom. Yep. Anyway, each seat also had its own monitor, which had awesome special features. So with your monitor, you could watch movies, watch videos, listen to music, listen to the radio, play games, or read books. There was also an interactive map that you could view to see your current location in real time. In each chair, there was also a remote that you could take out and use to control your monitor or your movie, or you could use it to play games if you just flipped it over. So instead of shutters for their windows that you open and close, they had controllable tinted windows, which was awesome because you could still look outside, even though you would only be looking at clouds. But you could still look outside and not have the sun blaring in when your person next to you is trying to sleep or something like that. Food. They gave us copious amounts of rather decent tasting food. For each flight, which was around 13 hours, you got 2 main course meals, a lunch type meal and a dinner type meal, including snack times and drink break times and breakfast that they served. You were basically eating the entire plane ride. For each dinner, you were allowed to choose from 2 different meals, usually just one meat or the other and its appropriate sides, and the food wasn't delicious. It wasn't 5-star, of course. That would just be kind of weird to have awesome, delicious food on a plane, especially since they don't have a kitchen and stuff. But it was good, and they gave you a lot, and it was enjoyable, so I'm not complaining. It still might make you feel sick afterwards. So in conclusion, I would definitely recommend taking JAL if you're ever going to Japan or maybe taking a really long flight. Everything was really nice and comfortable and spacious and entertaining. The food was pretty good. The staff was really nice, and I was lucky, but even the plane community, like all the rest of the passengers, were respectable and quiet, and we didn't have any annoying crying babies for 12 hours. So that's the end of this video. I hope you liked it. I hope you found it a little bit informative, and I'll see you in the next one.